I demand you buy my children. Buy them now. Link is down below. They're available for a limited time only. Buy my babies.
I love being in the business of child purchasing. Who needs real children when you can have these?
Oh, well, good evening, laddies, lasses and lasses, and welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today, and don't let anyone else lie to you and tell you otherwise. Now you might say, wow, click, that's a really funny, unhinged intro. No, I really am selling my babies. The link is in the description. You should buy them right now, before they're gone forever. Check this out. I can even toss them to the couch. Nailed it. So anyway, speaking of unhinged everyday things, I was scrolling the good old interweb the other day and realized that insane parents have indeed not stopped. They probably should be stopped, but for now, we're gonna use them for content. Welcome to r/EntitledParents. Enjoy. Mwah.
And also buy my babies. Buy them now!
I am such a salesperson. I should really start selling plushies or something. Entitled mother tried to sue me for drugging her child. I, 19F, am a server at a restaurant with a bar in it. The bar side of the restaurant is, of course, 21 plus. And anyone who orders an alcoholic beverage is required to show the waiter their ID. The rest of the restaurant, however, is child-friendly. We were serving breakfast and I was serving a table of two. A young girl who looked about 8 or 9 and her entitled mother, EM. However, this mom is more than entitled, as she will be arrested by the end of the story. You remember those old comedy movies from the 90s where the whole movie started out with some dude getting tackled to the ground and then the protagonist voiceover goes kind of like, yeah, you might be wondering how I ended up in this situation, and then the movie plays from like 2 weeks back before they got indeed tackled to the ground. That's basically like these kind of stories, but from like a third-party perspective. It's amazing. I go and take their drink orders after the hostess sits them down. The young girl gets an orange juice while the mother gets a water and a mimosa. I, of course, check the mom's ID and see that she is born in the early 80s, so she is good for a mimosa. I let the bartender know that I need a mimosa to serve and I work on the orange juice for the child and the mother's water. Once I have all 3 drinks, I serve the table and take their meal orders. Everything seems to be going smoothly, until I bring back their meals. As I bring back the plates, the mother screams at me,
You served my child alcohol!
I know for a fact that cannot be true, because I am the one who made the juice and never even went behind the bar where the drinks are. Ma'am, you must be mistaken. I did not put any alcohol in the juice, and I had my eyes on it until it reached your table.
Well, then smell it!
She handed me her child's glass, and it did smell like alcohol. Me. Once again, I know that I did not put alcohol in your child's drink. Either someone did it while you weren't looking, or you did it yourself. But the juice had no alcohol in it before it came to the table. The mother looked at me angrily and demanded to see my manager.
I am going to sue you for giving my child alcohol. Bring me your manager.
I mean, yeah, this seems pretty bad, like an 8 or 9-year-old child receiving alcoholic beverages at an establishment. I get the manager, and she gets both mine and the mom's side of the story. Security was even alerted because apparently the child had drunk a few sips of the alcohol. My manager, security, and I went and watched the security footage since both me and the mom swore we didn't put alcohol in the juice.
Oh, they have cameras. Oh, this is gonna be juicy.
Pun actually not intended. And not only did we discover that I was indeed innocent, we saw that the mom, as soon as I had placed the glasses down and left, have a drink of the child's juice, filled it back up with her mimosa, and then she instructed her child to drink some of it. The mother was arrested for giving her child alcohol and was given a lifetime ban from the establishment. If she appears again, she will be immediately arrested again. Not how I planned my work morning, but at least it was amusing to watch an entitled mother get what she deserved. Edit, I was informed by someone who spoke to the kid that they didn't even want orange juice and hates orange juice. Her mom told her to order it just so she could mix the drinks. The child originally wanted chocolate milk. You best believe I made sure she got her chocolate milk. Man, at least the child got some cocoa at the end. You know, imagine sitting there waiting for like the cops to show up because your mom was feeding you alcohol to, I don't know, get the establishment in trouble. She was probably doing this as a scheme to like get a free meal or something.
Oh my god, how dare you accidentally serve my child alcohol? That's outrageous. I'm gonna sue and call the cops and blah 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 unless I, happen to get a free meal out of it.
Wink, wink. This whole thing gives a very similar vibe to those people that try to do insurance frauds by like brake checking in front of you and like ramming into the front of your car. But instead, she's using like an 8-year-old child and feeding them alcohol and blaming someone else, which is arguably worse. Oh my god. I really hope there's another parent in the picture so this mom loses custody or something like that. Can you imagine using your child as a prop to get free meals by getting them drunk at the age of 8? My mom tried to take my adult card because it made her feel embarrassed. So I'm in college and I finally got my own card this year. I'm assuming you mean like credit card. Nothing fancy, it just helps me manage my money without asking anyone for every little thing. I was honestly proud because it felt like a small grown-up milestone. Last weekend, my mom came with me to the mall to buy stuff for my younger cousin's birthday. The plan was simple. We grab a gift, maybe some snacks, and leave. We get to the store and she picked up a bunch of things. Not just a gift, like 3 outfits, shoes, a toy, and then randomly add stuff for herself too. I quietly ask if we're staying in budget because I know how these trips go. She says, yes, don't worry. At checkout, the total comes way higher than I expected. She looks at the bill and then immediately looks at me like a solution just appeared. She goes, put it on your card. Of course, it's easy to stay in budget if you make your kid pay for it. Dear God. I tell her I can't because I am on a tight student budget and didn't plan for all of this. She laughs like I am joking. Why do you even have a card if you can't use it for family stuff? Okay, but like using it for family stuff would be the OG gift that the trip was planned for, not the 15 random outfits your mom spontaneously decided to pick up, and now it's like the student daughter's job to pay for the mother's fits and shoes. Are you serious? I say I can pay for the actual gift, but not everything else. That is literally what we came here for. She then gets annoyed right there in front of the cashier. Wow, so you're counting money with your own mother now. I raised you and this is how you act. Don't you have a job? You're a grown woman who is supposed to have a job, or at the very least, some sort of budget. But then instead, you're taking your daughter on a shopping trip for a gift, but instead very manipulative, try to put all your stuff on her new credit card, so you tank your own daughter's credit while she is like in college and trying to like get her life started. And this is what you do? And then you try to be manipulative about it? What? This is some other level of entitlement. Holy shit. I try to stay calm and repeat that I am happy to cover the gift and that's it. Then she says the wildest thing. Fine, give me the card. I'll keep it with me so I can use it when needed. You're clearly not responsible enough. What do you mean? So you can tank their credit without them stopping you? Man, that seems like a great solution for everyone involved. Especially you. Like, what? I tell her no. She starts doing that dramatic sigh thing and says to the cashier, kids these days are so selfish, they forget who paid for their whole life. It's not like you chose to have kids or whatever. It was totally up to the kid to decide that they were to be born before they even existed. Oh, is she gonna be one of those parents that's like, you better pay me back the rent for the 18 years I raised you or something like that. Not like you're legally required to, pay for your child or whatever, but now you owe me. And I'm also gonna tank your credit. We end up paying separately. She sulks the entire ride home and later tells my aunt that I refuse to help family, even though I literally paid for the gift we came to buy. The funniest part is she didn't want help. She wanted control. The moment I said I have a boundary, suddenly my card became community property, and my budget became a personal insult. Honestly, this exact kind of situation is why I went fizz in the first place. It's a student card that only lets me spend what I already have, so I don't get pushed into surprise debt just because someone else decides my balance is a family fund. Oh, okay, then it's probably a debit card and not a credit card. But still, it would mean that she burns through your actual money. So your credit probably wouldn't be tanked by it, but your savings would certainly be drained by these spontaneous purchases for the sake of family, which is equally shitty. And yeah, it still helps me build credit, but on my terms. Or maybe it's like a special kind of youth card that like the credit spending doesn't surpass whatever you have in the account. I don't know, but to me it sounds like a debit card. Could be mistaken though, maybe it works differently in different places. Anyone else deal with parents who think your money is still their money just because they raised you? How do you set limits without turning every small thing into a guilt festival? I think you dealt with it perfectly, to be honest. You set your boundary down, you didn't let her take your card and therefore take your money from you that you're supposed to be saving and spending according to your needs. She's an adult woman who chose to have children, who chose to buy a bunch of outfits and stuff. She's an adult person with her adult finances that she can deal with herself. The only thing I would consider doing in addition to this is like call her out when she says those kind of things in front of the aunt. Like, oh, she doesn't do for family. And there's like, what are you talking about? I was the one who bought the gift. And then if she starts talking about the other stuff, it's like, but those are your things. Why would I pay for your things? And then, you know, she can tie her own noose by being like, oh my god, I paid for you and raised you, blah, 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 because then she starts sounding unhinged and nobody's gonna be on her side. So you dealt with this perfectly, honestly. Put your foot down. Some people, including family, are just really weird and entitled. And some people really struggle when their kids enter that phase of life when they become their own adults, for whatever reason. Some people are just weird about it. But even if they're family, that doesn't mean it's up to you to put up with it. Today I had my turn at, "You're too old for that, give it to my kid." So I was doing some grocery shopping at my local Aldi today, and I was wearing my hat that has Pokemon patches on it. It's just a black cap with 3 patches, a Psyduck, Magikarp, and a Gyarados. Got to the checkout, and there was this woman with her 2 kids. The kids were misbehaving, and she was yelling at them. That's when the boy saw my hat and said, "Mom, I like her hat." The next thing I know, the woman is telling me to give my hat to the kid because I'm too old for it. She even tried to reach over and yank it off my head. I told her to go away and that I didn't have to give my hat to her kid and stuffed it up under the jumpsuit I was wearing. Checked out and left. Anywho, it's not much, but there's my encounter with an entitled parent. People like this have like a main character syndrome, but it like extends to their kids as well. Random people at the grocery store have to give their random items to my children if they ask. That's how the world works. It's like gravity, but my children are the center of it. The mom who demanded my boyfriend give up his seat on his own birthday dinner. So my 22F boyfriend turned 23 last weekend, and we went to this small Italian place that's first come, first serve. It's one of those cozy spots where the tables are way too close together, so you can basically hear every conversation around you. Anyway, we finally get the table after waiting for about 30 minutes, order a bottle of wine, and this family walks in. Mom, dad, 2 kids, and a teenage boy who looks like he would rather be anywhere else. The hostess tells them it will be 25-minute wait. The mom immediately starts complaining that her kids are hungry, that it's ridiculous people are taking up big tables when they're just couples. Guess who she points at? Yep, us. She comes over, leans on our table and goes, "You two don't mind moving so my family can sit, right? You can wait a bit longer, you're young. But your starving children are even younger, if you wanna go that route." I literally thought she was joking. My boyfriend laughed awkwardly and said, actually, it's my birthday. She goes, "Then you should be a gentleman enough to offer your seat to a mother with hungry children." So it's his birthday, so he has to move. But you better be sure that if the roles were reversed, like it was one of the kids' birthday, then everyone else should move for them as well. You know, it's my kid's birthday, how can you not move? Oh, it's your birthday? You should move. It's always in one direction, isn't it? The waitress stepped in and told her she can't ask people to give up tables. The mom rolled her eyes, huffed off, and whispered loud enough for us to hear, "People these days have no respect." Why is it always the most disrespectful people that yap about respect? It's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Her husband looked mortified. Yeah, I'm starting to understand why that teenager didn't want to be there. Maybe nobody wanted to be there. They just didn't have a choice. The rest of the night, she kept glaring over like we had personally ruined her evening. So yeah, happy birthday, babe. Here's a free sign of audacity. I mean, it's gonna be a funny story that you can retell after. Oh yeah, you remember the Karen on your 23rd birthday? Oh honey, those are the best memories. My stepmom told my dad he had to choose between her and me for game night. For context, I, 24F, have this little tradition with my dad. Every other Friday, I go over to his house for game night. It started when I was 12 and going through a rough patch, and it just stuck. It's not some huge event. We order cheap pizza, play Uno or Scrabble, talk about life. It's honestly one of the few things that still makes me feel like a kid in a good way. I mean, those are the best kind of traditions, the stuff you started doing just to like connect or take someone through a rough patch or whatever, and it just becomes this like regular, social, nice thing to catch up with a loved one. I think that's beautiful. Enter my stepmom. She's never been outright evil, mostly just a chronic eye-roller who thinks anything that isn't about her is a personal inconvenience. I mean, that sounds kinda like a pain in the butt for a stepmom role, to be honest. She'll make passive-aggressive comments sometimes, but nothing explosive. Until this week. I show up with a bag of snacks like I always do, my dad is setting up the cards, everything is normal. Then my stepmom walks in with this, "I'm about to ruin the vibe" expression. She looks at the table and goes, "Are we seriously doing this again?" My dad's like, "It's Friday," in the most confused dad voice ever. She sighs dramatically and goes, "I think it's time you choose how you want to spend your Friday nights. With me, or doing this childish routine with her." Are you really making game night a competition between his girlfriend and his daughter? Man, what a nice addition to the vibe. I mean, sure, you can be competitive at game night or whatever, but I'm not sure if this is the kind of competition they had in mind. Her, as in me. His daughter, the one he raised mostly by himself before she even existed in his life. My dad and I both just blinked, because what do you even say to that? He goes, it's 2 hours every other week. She says, "It's embarrassing? A grown man playing kids games with a grown daughter. It's weird." I'm just sitting there like, girl, this is Uno and not a blood pact. Also, at some point, maybe it's more about the company and the vibe and, spending quality time with loved ones than it is about the specific game. And also, why can't adults play Uno or whatever? I play Uno. It's great. Although, to be fair, everyone has different rules. People even, low-key cancel Uno on Twitter because people don't agree with Uno's own rules. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get on with it. My dad, bless him, sticks up for me and goes, "This isn't a competition." She snaps back with, "It is when she keeps winning." Would she be less salty about game night if she sucked less at Uno? "Ma'am, we are playing Uno! Uno! What is this, the championship finals?" Then she storms upstairs and refuses to come down. My dad looked so defeated, like he was trying to calculate how Uno somehow turned into a custody battle. We ended up playing anyway, but it was kind of awkward because every few minutes we could hear her passive-aggressively slamming drawers upstairs. I'm gonna put these socks down. Aggressively. Oh god, my camera cut out for a sec. Wait, does that... Okay, no, it's back. It's back now for whatever. Anyway, I slammed it so immersively that my camera just checked out for a second. I'm gonna passively aggressive put my socks in the drawer because I am mad I don't win at Uno. I am an adult, by the way, a functioning adult. When I left, my dad apologized and said, "Sorry you had to see that. I didn't know game night was such a threat." Same, dude. Same. I mean, if this woman seriously sees Uno night with his own kids as a threat to her and her ego or time or whatever, she has some significant insecurity issues. Holy shit. I would be surprised if this is the only instance this kind of thing has happened in. It might be the first time you have seen it in the context of being his daughter, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a commonly occurring thing. This seems like it's the kind of thing that has an underlying thing to it. Or maybe she's just a really bad loser and was sick of losing at Uno. Random dad tried to discipline my 5-year-old cousin for spilling juice. This happened at my grandparents' place last weekend, and I am still annoyed. My 5-year-old cousin spilled a little bit of juice on her dress. Totally normal. She's 5. Her hands are basically decorative at that age. I mean, yeah, the motor skills aren't the most fine-tuned yet. I bent down and told her, "Hey, it's okay, we'll clean it up, no stress." Enter my cousin's friend's dad. Why he was even in my grandparents' house is a whole separate novel. He decides this is the moment to shine as the CEO of parenting, trademark, and loudly goes, "That is why kids these days are soft. You need to be firm. They need consequences." What are you suggesting? We're gonna beat this child. They dropped juice. As a 5-year-old, disgusting, how dare they? Off to the coal mines to buy a new shirt. And then, I swear I'm not exaggerating, he turns to this tiny child who literally does not know this man and says, "You see what happens when you're careless? You ruin nice things." Oh boy, I hope this man is not racing into kids himself. That sounds like you're just speedrunning anxiety. Holy shit, man. The room went silent, like a sitcom record scratch silent. I just blinked at him and said, "Whoa, she's 5. And this man goes, "If she's old enough to make a mess, she's old enough to face discipline." You mean like when a 2-month baby barfs on you? That sort of mess. So when you're old enough to make a mess, literally 0, then you're old enough to take consequences. Are you sure you're just not a little bit of an idiot? Sir, she's old enough to drink from a cup shaped like a cartoon animal. Let's calm down. My aunt immediately swooped in like a protective mother hawk and basically told him, "You're out of line. Leave." And this man actually left, muttering something about snowflake parenting. Ah, yes indeed, beating babies for barfing. That's how you raise real alphas. This like snowflake parenting of not, I don't know, inducing the worst anxiety about spilling juice when you're 5. That's snowflake shit. That's the stuff that'll make him soft. I, on the other hand, I give my children crippling anxiety. That's how you make them tough and functional. Fuck yeah. My cousin looks up at me after he's gone and whispers, "That man needs a nap." Honestly, she understood the situation better than he did. Oh my god, the child is absolutely based. He is autistic is not a valid excuse to let your kid disrupt everyone else. Autism acceptance is important, but there are boundaries. I was in a hot tub recently, just trying to relax, when a woman let her autistic son jump in and treat it like a kiddie pool, splashing, yelling, jumping around, completely ignoring that a hot tub is meant for calm, not chaos. A few of us politely mentioned that it wasn't appropriate, and her only response was, "He's autistic." Then she pointed at the main pool and told us to go there if we did not like it. Oh nah, poor kid man. She's basically just using autism as an excuse to not raise her kid. And stuff like this will catch up with him, of course, if he's never raised to like understand boundaries or understand shared spaces or whatever. That might work, you know, when he's a little child to some extent, but that reality will hit him like a wall. She is not doing him any favors. As someone who's also autistic, I find this kind of enabling incredibly frustrating. Autism doesn't mean you get a pass to take over shared spaces or disregard others completely. Inclusion and acceptance don't mean no rules. We should be teaching autistic kids how to navigate the world with support and boundaries, not encouraging the idea that everyone else has to adjust while they do whatever they want. This kind of behavior doesn't promote understanding. It creates resentment and makes things harder for the rest of us who are doing our best to be mindful of others. Yeah, I hope that kid has better parental figures in his life, because that is a massive disservice. Oh dear God. My dad said I owed him reimbursement for moving out because I'm taking my stuff with me. This is like the last story, when the mom was trying to steal the daughter's credit card. And I was like, oh, I gotta ask her to reimburse them for the child. It is literally that. This dad and her would be perfect for each other. And by perfect, I mean absolute nightmares. So I finally moved out of my parents' house after college. Nothing dramatic, just got a small apartment with a friend. Seems pretty normal. My dad sees me packing my bedroom furniture and goes, "You're taking that?" I'm like, "Yes, this is my dresser." He goes, "Well, I bought it, so if you're taking it, you owe me $300. I thought he was joking. Nope, dead serious. He started listing everything he's ever bought me. My childhood bed, my desk I've had since I was 14, the lamp from Walmart, even the curtains. He literally said, "Those curtains weren't free. You think you can just walk away with them?" My mom stepped in and was like, "She's not paying for curtains from 2012. He goes, "It's the principle." The principle? Principle of what? I ended up buying my own cheap furniture and leaving everything behind just so he couldn't invoice me. The man texted me later, "Don't forget you owe me rent for raising you." Sir, please. I wonder what the background is for this absolute crash out. I know sometimes people can get a bit mopey or whatever when kids move out, for example. Like, oh, the house gets empty, people growing up, life changing, blah, 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 all that kind of jazz. Perfectly normal. I wonder if this is like a weird emotional man crash out to like, the daughter's moving out, or I'm losing control, or something like that. And this is how I deal with my emotion. I'm gonna invoice my child because I raised them. You know that you're legally required to raise kids that you have, right? They don't owe you money for being a child, okay? And I guess you got what you wanted. Now they bought their own cheap IKEA furniture or whatever, and you have an entire room at home full of furniture that no one is going to use instead. And you either have to like redecorate it yourself or get rid of it yourself. So like, there you go. That wasn't good for anyone, now was it? Entitled parents report me after I stopped their child from hitting. I am a support teacher at a daycare. A few days ago, I was covering the preschool class, and we were lining the children up to go outside. As my coworker was taking attendance, one of the kids, a girl that I'll refer to as M, started slapping me on the stomach. The slaps barely felt like anything, so I just shrugged it off and ignored her, assuming she would just get bored and stop. However, she then started hitting me even harder, and I tried politely to ask M to stop. M didn't listen and began to hit me on my back as well. I finally raised my voice and sternly told her to knock it off before putting up my arm to block. I'm a relatively strong guy, so when she slapped my forearm, she grabbed her hand and started crying. To which I replied, "You see, that's why we don't hit." Later, at the end of the day, when the kids were getting picked up, I was called to the front office. Apparently, M told her parents that I hit her when she was playing with me, and so they confronted my manager about it. After telling my side of the story, my manager looked through the security footage and watched the incident through. She showed M's parents how I never raised my hand against her and acted purely in self-defense. Before leaving, M's parents each gave me a dirty look, like they were angry they couldn't charge me with anything. Not even an apology for how their daughter acted. Oh boy, they're basically enabling their little daughter to lie about what really happened when she started just hitting people out of nowhere. That's kind of concerning household boundaries. Oh my god. This little girl is going to be a hot mess when she gets to grade school if she thinks it's okay to lie about hitting another person. You are lucky there are security cameras. I would ask your manager to keep that footage because these are the parents that will make a call to Child Protective Services. Yeah, definitely make backups of all receipts. People like this can be incredibly vindictive. I brought my mom and brother from Brazil to visit me in the US and ended up emotionally destroyed in my own home. I live in the US and haven't seen my mom or 15-year-old brother in 1 year. They live in Brazil, and I wanted to give them a special experience. So I paid for everything, including 2 international business class tickets as we used to do once per year, to make them feel comfortable and loved. Also, in her case, health-wise. I had planned this trip with care, especially hoping to reconnect with my brother. But from the moment they arrived, my mom was cold, critical, and manipulative in 2 days. She made passive-aggressive remarks like, "You could have married better." Oh my, you show up as a guest and that's the first thing you pop out? Holy shit, man. And mocked the fact that I cook and care for my home, even though she lives in Brazil with maids, drivers, supported largely by my help. How can someone be this entitled? Oh no! Then things escalated. During a weekend trip, she messaged my husband privately, saying she wanted to speak to him alone. He immediately showed me and told me he wouldn't entertain that. But the next morning, while I was upstairs, she cornered him at the hotel anyway. He texted me while it was happening because he didn't want this drama or entertain this kind of behavior. Clearly uncomfortable. When I came down for breakfast, he told her directly, "Anything you want to say should be said to the both of us." But in that private moment, she had already tried. She brought up personal things I did over 6 years ago, trying to throw dirt and stir doubt in our marriage. What she didn't expect was that my husband already knew everything. And he asked her calmly and clearly, "I know all of this. What exactly is your goal in bringing this up?" She started to cry, and he was all over meetings and asked us to leave the table at breakfast, which I think was okay. I tried to ask why she would do that at the room later. For context, we went to a place in a Big Sur for a weekend and she ruined. She stayed in the room and trying to burn with my own husband. After we arrived, she figured she won't manipulate my husband and they clash personalities. She locked herself in the room for a week. Oh, okay, so when it didn't work out, she was sulking instead and kind of ruining the whole vibe. Okay, I see. Why would a mother try to sabotage her daughter's relationship with the man who is my partner, husband, and we are happy? I mean, it does sound like she has some sort of agenda or is jealous or something like that. Maybe if she gets the husband out of the picture, she will have more of your support or whatever for herself. I don't know, but could be something like that. After that, she played the victim, and slowly she turned my brother against me, the boy I love like my son. But after being so mistreated, I'm feeling angry. The one I wanted to reconnect with now barely looks at me, barely speaks. He stays in the room with her. I feel erased in my own home. We have 2 days left. I am emotionally drained. I gave them everything: comfort, love, respect, and I am walking away with silence, manipulation, and heartbreak. What would you do after something like this? How do you recover when your own mother tries to burn down the life you built and takes your brother with her? And why? Stop sending her money, put her on the plane, and then block her everywhere. She is a miserable person and wants you to be miserable too. Please cut contact with her. Tell your brother you love him, and when he's ready to leave her control and manipulation, you will be there for him. Yeah, this sounds like some kind of control play. Like she's upset about you forming a new core family that doesn't include her in the core, and that makes her lose control, and if she can split that up, she can control you easier and get more support or money or whatever out of it. It sounds like something like that. This isn't a person that is going to have any of your good interests at heart. She is playing for something egocentrical, and it's probably something along those lines. Entitled parent refuses to let their child come to my child's birthday party unless the entire family gets to go. Wait, what? My daughter is having a birthday party at an indoor water in 2 weeks, and I texted one of her friend's parents to confirm that he would be there and ask if a parent would be staying with him. The response I got back: I think we may plan for all of us and will pay extra if needed. Uh-huh. I was really confused by this because she has 4 other kids, 2 of them are toddlers, and my daughter, turning 9, has never hung out with any of them. Her son has come to my daughter's birthday parties the last 3 years in a row. The first 2 he came by himself, and the last year his dad stayed with him. We're renting a party room and we're only allowed 30 guests, and we currently have 25. I respond, okay, that sounds cool. Just to let you know, the party room does have a max capacity, and we're still receiving RSVPs and are limiting it to was invited and 1 parent, if needed. You're welcome to pay for the rest of your family and hang out the table around the water park if you'd like. She responds, oh, okay, we might skip it then, if only 1 parent and kid is a limit, because there is 2 parents involved here. I don't know, that sounds crazy. I'm sorry. Me. I'm sorry, we have 26 people coming already, and there could be more RSVPs. They limit us to 30. Her. My fiance and I both just like to be involved with our children, so if only 1 can come, we'll have to pass. I'm sorry, we'll plan something else, I guess. Uh-huh. That seems like such an incredible non-issue. Like, it's not even their kid's birthday. They just invited to some other kid's birthday. Just have 1 parent take them, and the other parent can have a day off. Doesn't that sound amazing? And then at the next birthday party, the kid is invited to, the next parent goes, or whatever. There must be like 20 birthdays like this per year, you know? Because, you know, all the classmates and stuff. Why complicate it? Me. Your son has come to her parties by himself or with your fiancé, and it's never been an issue before. Sorry, I am a little confused. You can definitely come, but only 1 parent and the invited child will be welcomed into the party room so that we can be compliant with capacity policies. Her. Well, I have a new policy for my family, you see. You're not the only one who can play the policy card, Courtney. I have a new policy for my family too, and it's either we all go or none of us go. When I throw parties, I just host at my house so that everyone can come. Every kid and their family. I would never separate people from their kids. Wow, you're such a victim, separating them from their kids. You're making it sound like some forced deportation kind of situation. It's a birthday party. There must be like 20 of this per year with all the classmates and stuff. Just have 1 parent go. Who cares? Who the f cares? I used to be okay with dropping him off, but I'm not doing that anymore. He has 2 parents that love and support him. We both deserve to be there to support him. Ah, yes, indeed. He deserves 2 parents to be there and support him in this trying time of showing up for a birthday party. Oh my god. Me. Hey, interesting that you claim to invite everyone to your parties that you host, and out of the 3 years we've known you, we've never received an invitation. Oh god! B. Support him? Support him for what? He's here to celebrate his friend turning a year older. What kind of support does he need? That's what I said. C. If you have this new policy for your family, why not just rent your own party rooms so that your son can spend time with you all as a family while simultaneously spending time with his friend for a birthday, instead of expecting me to find extra space and money to accommodate your entire family? Oh, then she got pissed. Told me I was heartless, and that her son would never be allowed to go any other parties we host. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even care what she thinks about me. It's not half as bad as what I think about her. I felt like I was arguing with a child that had just decided it was opposite day. You can't just invite your entire family to your kid's friend's birthday party. The entitlement was palpable. Sounds like someone in the relationship cheated. Screams out of that type of insecurity. Yeah, her! She's a chronic cheater. Oh, maybe it's the husband that doesn't allow her to go places by herself anymore. But I mean, at that point, get a heckin' divorce. But still, okay. 2 out of the 5 kids that she has with her fiancé aren't his because she's been cheating on him throughout the 10-year relationship. Holy f***. Why are you even together? Jesus Christ. 1 of the 2 older ones aren't his, and 1 of the 2 toddlers aren't his. Wait. So it's 3. No, 1 of the 2 older ones and 1 of the toddlers aren't his. Okay, so it's continuous cheating. It's like 1 of the older kids and 1 of the youngest aren't his. But the cheating has been going on forever, and she's allowed her child to spend entire days with me in the past. It seems weird that she's switching up now. Sounds like some kind of drama between them, to be honest. It's like, oh, you can't go anymore because you just end up cheating. It's like, fine, let me take everyone. And now it's your problem. Congratulations! You know, sometimes you look at the world and you're like, man, there are a lot of problems in the world and stuff we should probably solve or whatever. And then you see people like this and be like, man, some people must have it so good if they have to like make up their problems like this. Holy shit. Today I found out my old mom nuked my credit score, and her excuse was insane. Today I finally figured out why my credit score has been absolute garbage for the last couple of years. I kept blaming myself. Maybe I forgot an old bill somewhere. Maybe something went to collectors without me noticing. I have been stressing about it for months. It turns out the reason was sitting in my own house the whole time. My mom stole my identity almost 3 years ago. Opened accounts, missed payment, racked up balances. If you're gonna steal your kid's identity, can't you at least pay the credits? Holy shit, man. You're doing like double wrong. And it doesn't make a right. It makes it so bad. The whole disaster package. I only found out because I applied for something super basic and the bank guy casually goes, "You've had these accounts since 2022, correct?" I swear I felt my soul leave my body. When I confronted her, hoping it was some kind of mixed up, she literally shrugged and said, "You didn't need good credit for anything anyway." Like my future doesn't matter. Like rebuilding credit is just a side quest I can do on the weekends. And now I'm sitting here with a stack of paperwork, trying to untangle 3 years of financial chaos, and realizing I basically have to rebuild my entire credit profile from scratch. I have literally gone back to the basics. Tiny charges that auto-clear from my checking. Zero chance of anyone else touching it. The kind of slow, boring rebuild you do with a card like Fizz, because it only spends what's already in your account. Ah, that's like the other post. Ah, okay, so maybe it is a credit card. Okay, Fizz, never heard about it. It's the first thing in months that feels safe, I guess. If possible, report your mom. I think this is incredibly illegal. I would totally go the legal route in this case if this was myself. It doesn't matter that it's family. Someone literally did identity theft to steal credit from you. Okay? This is so incredibly illegal, and the fact that someone is family doesn't make it better. It makes it worse because it's someone that you thought you could trust. I would burn this relationship to the ground and do it the legal way. This kind of stuff pisses me off. My mom used my credit card just once, and now I'm dealing with the fallout. There's so many, like, financially shitty parents. Oh my god. I, 24F, moved out to my parents' house last year and finally started managing my own money. Got a decent job, started using a credit card after building credit scored with FizzGuard. Is this like a common thing? Never heard the name. I mean, it probably doesn't exist here. That's probably why. But still, damn, it's come up like 3 times in one video. And was finally at some good financial numbers. A few months ago, I went home for a weekend visit. While I was there, my mom asked if she could borrow my card to buy something online, since hers was acting up. I hesitated, but she promised it was just for one small purchase, and she would Venmo me right away. It was like $60, so I didn't think much of it. Fast forward 2 weeks, I'm checking my account and see multiple charges from random sites I've never heard of. $30 here, $50 there, $200 order from Target. My mom admitted she accidentally saved my card info in her browser and used it a few times because she forgot which card was which. Also, if you, hypothetically, were to borrow someone else's card to make purchases, why would you save it? You wouldn't save it unless you're intending to use it again. Okay? I think I've done this one time with a family member because my credit card was acting up and I was gonna rent a car. It wasn't anything that was actually gonna charge money, it's just like for the safety deposit that you get back afterwards. So I used a family member's credit card just for that thing, which was perfectly fine and stuff, we talked about it, etc, etc. But the key is that I never saved it, you know, because I never intended to use it again. Right? So that's the weird part to me. Even if you like borrow cards here and there from each other, whether it be a partner or a family member because something happens, or, you know, maybe your card expired and your new one is late in the mail, or, you know, whatever, you had to block it because you lost it, stuff like that can happen. Then you don't save the card unless you intend to use it again. That's kind of what gets me as like a bit of a call out in this case. I asked her to stop and told her I would dispute the charges. She got defensive and said I was overreacting and acting like she's a stranger. No, you're the one stealing money from your family. You're the one who's done something wrong. I hate people like this. They suck. I told her it's about responsibility. Now she's the child, basically. She told me that I've changed since moving out, and that money shouldn't come between families. See, I should be able to steal from you, because money shouldn't come between family. You should just steal something next time you visit her house. Like, steal some cash they have in a drawer or something, but money shouldn't come in between family. See how they react then? So now I am stuck cleaning up the mess. My score dipped because of the increased utilization, and I've had to file disputes for a few charges that she don't remember. She didn't even remember. She can't even be irresponsible responsibly. She still hasn't paid me back. I love my mom. Do you? I wouldn't after this. Like, sure, the money isn't like the hugest amount ever, but it's kind of about the principle, right? Like, I would keep family that actively steal from me and like sneakily try to use my credit card or something at a very far away distance, okay? Because it's not so much about the money itself, it's more about the principle. They have shown that they're willing to lie, and she would have kept doing this unless you caught her, okay? What else are they willing to do if you let them in too close? That's at least my experience with people like this, you know? They've kind of shown you their colors. When someone tells you who they are, it's good to listen. This crossed a line. I worked really hard to build up decent credit, and now I feel stupid for letting this happen. Okay, now it's a little bit of a positive palate cleanser. We're gonna have a little puzzle. Ooh, that's cute, right? A number that is greater than this, 46, by moving only one stick. Personally, I have found 2 solutions to this one. Okay? It's pretty fun. I would love to see which solutions you come up with in the comments. I don't know how many there actually are, but I have at least found 2 myself, and I feel very smart. So let me feel not smart by finding more. Have an amazing rest of your day, you wonderful, beautiful beings, and I will see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.